This is Miles Grant with the National Wildlife Federation here at the U.S. Capitol, where NWF is having a news conference with members of our Teaming with Wildlife and Healing Our Waters coalitions, with the House continuing resolution drastically cutting funding for clean air and clean water. Members of the National Wildlife Federation are asking Congress to stand up for our air, water, wildlife, and public health.
But make no mistake, if the House budget bill is enacted, we will also have a dangerous shutdown, a closure of critical state wildlife conservation programs, the shuttering of vital wetlands restoration efforts, and bans on the enforcement of the very laws that keep our air and water safe and protect America's great outdoors.
Every one of those amendments, we had spent days, weeks, months, and in many cases years getting the legislation passed, not to mention the appropriations to protect that legislation. And much of that legislation was a result of the lobbying by the members of your organizations, and we thank you for that leadership.
There's nothing conservative about what they're doing. This is a radical attack on our land, our air, and our water. Nothing conservative about that.
What's going on in this budget to the environment is an ideological assault as much as anything else. It is targeted and it is meant to hurt, to be mean, and to be punitive.
In a sense, what the Republican majority is proposing is legislation that you could call Keep Every Child Inside, because it's so polluted outside, you wouldn't want to put them in harm's way.
And how does this affect you? Well, number one, it would affect you if you went out and saw those families cry for what's happening to clean water in this area. And number two, if you have a plan for cleaning up your watershed, this is a direct attack that no money may be spent on a plan to clean up a watershed.
And hunters and anglers across the country are not going to sit this one out. The 35 million strong of us are adamant that the Senate step up to the plate and defend these programs and these policies which have been so important for hunting and fishing in this country.
In 2006, 1.3 million Americans hunted waterfowl. These hunters spent more than $2.3 billion for goods and services, which supported about 27,000 private sector jobs.
National Wildlife Federation members and supporters have come here from all around the country to tell their members of Congress it's important for them to stand up for America's air, water, wildlife, and public health. To learn how you can help, go to nwf.org/news.